Nation, we are here. It is Clearwater, and this is a victory celebration that you guys are all a part of. AA Ron and Dusty are getting it together, so you can see both of
Are you
those
live?
streams.
I am not.
I am.
Okay, you're live.
Yeah.
How
And
do I change the notification?
Rachel, how you doing?
I'm gonna have to ask Rock how to do it. It was here again.
What's that? I know, but that's at the home. That's at the
Hi,
home
Angie.
stage. Like,
Scooter
I'll show
Mom.
you what I mean. I'll show you what I mean.
We're at AA Ron's right now. Clearwater's so creepy. That was like the back lot at Warner Brothers if they made it 100% Scio. That was so spooky. Whoa. It's like you can't even breathe. Every building there is Scio. Everything.
I am live. It worked
Live.
on mine.
um,
Our tech genius here still trying to figure out his techie stuff.
check it out.
I can't see my
Hi,
chat,
Ingrid.
you guys, but
Hi,
thank
Petra.
you all for being here. Oh, forgot about that day drinking thing.
That funny little day drinking thing.
These guys are showing me how to smoke a cigar.
You'd rather just have that full of weed, right?
It's really sweaty.
Can you just fill it?
About that.
All right. Hi, Martha. Hey, Constance. DD. How you doing?
Aaron, I
Hi,
hurt
SJ.
myself. I hope you don't mind.
Oh, please don't.
All right, look what I got. Got blended whiskey out of a mason jar. That's how we do things here in Florida. Okay, Eric, you're gonna have to give me which end do you like? You smoke this end, I take it. You take the band off, right?
No, you keep it there.
And you
Then-
clip it.
Yep.
All right, you just clip the tip, right?
Yep. Yep. Just make sure there's so the smoke can get through.
Right there.
Yeah, it's fine.
Here we go. Shalom.
A little bit more. You need to get that
Oh,
smoke
that
through
poor 14-year-old.
there. A little bit, yeah.
Shalom. And
There's a lot of cigar places out here, and we went to one last night, and fantastic cigars for $6. Incredible. I bought a bunch
oh,
of
I'm
them.
in heaven now. Welcome everybody from Coldwater, Florida. We are the gruesome threesome. Are we the musketeers today? Oh, hi everybody over in Eric's chat. Hi. Please hit that like button, smash the subscribe.
Feral Cheryl's driving.
all right, I'm gonna cancel the one I had scheduled. I'm gonna start another one.
Okay.
Aaron's starting all over again.
Aaron's getting this one going again. Anna, how you doing? Anna says hi, Dusty.
Hi, Anna. I can't even see my chat. I have to go over there.
Rachel goes, did you hear that? That was the sound of David Miscavige's head blowing up.
Miss Cabbage. You talking about Dana Miscavige? Cabbage?
Hitzel.
Dana Miscavige.
So nice to see you, Hitzel. It's
If anybody in my chat wants to say anything, you got to jump over to Eric's chat and write it in, and then jump back, and then we'll answer the question. How's that sound?
Fine with me as long as you remember what you just said. I don't know what. Oh wow, that got going faster.
But it is a gorgeous day today. It's about 90. Got a little bit of cloud. The humidity is a beautiful 98%. So we're all sweating like men.
That's the thing, you know, you shower up and then go outside and you never dry off again. Mm-hmm.
Oh, is it actually going live? God, I cannot. Is it? Man, I was supposed to schedule it, but you
It
know
looks
what?
like it's
You're live.
working.
That's all right. Good.
What's that prompt to it there? Oh, I see.
All right, let's
We're
see.
good
Hi, Maz.
guys there, aren't we?
Hey, Aaron. Constance, so good to see you. Scooter Mom.
All right, let's test audio level.
Scooter Mom. 2 former and 1 never, and walk into a cigar bar.
All right, here. I'm actually gonna turn the volume up.
Wait a minute. According to the letter, I was OSA. Doesn't that make me in?
Means you're the boss.
Wow, we can all hear pretty good. Go ahead. Say something.
Hello, hello. Testing, testing.
that's
Wow, we can hear great.
too funny.
Fantastic. Wow, we can hear great. Yeah, you can hear me sound like Kermit the Frog. Oh my God, is it really 90 degrees out here today?
Yes.
Oh, kill me now.
We're all working fast to make it worse.
That's another thing I love about Aaron. He's
We're
exactly
all
the same as
black.
me. You don't like this shit at all.
No, I mean, people ask, why do you wear black all the time? This is why.
Yeah.
So you can't see the giant, like...
Yeah.
I made both
Thanks.
these guys tie-dyes and gave them to them, and neither one of them were worn yet. I'm kind of disappointed.
I totally was, you know what? I totally was going to bring that, and I don't think I did, but
And
you'll see me wear it on
mine's
a stream
missing,
here.
but I
in a
still
minute.
got a whole laundry basket full of them right now.
Oh, I just realized I had posted a link to this a couple other places, and now I got to change the link because I changed the stream.
Hi, Lori Marie. Hi, Martha Meringue.
So let's fix that problem.
I got to say, this is probably the 3rd cigar I've had in my life, and I never had a baseball bat like this. They were always little ones.
Well, you should have seen the ones that we saw last night. They literally have them like this big. It's ridiculous.
Like, well,
It would take 4
Ybor
hours to
City
smoke
was
that
a big cigar making town in Tampa.
Yeah, I'm with you, SJ. Where can we go where it's 70 with no humidity every day of the year? Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, Redwood City, California.
I've been there a million times.
It's the only place I could think of with perfect weather all the time.
Okay, good. Hopefully everybody that was waiting for the other stream to start can figure out what happened.
Oh, I need some snow, Martha. Amber, so good to see you.
We don't even have any particular agenda or anything to talk about. We just figured
This is just a
something we wanted
victory.
to do.
This is a
I'm hanging
victory.
out with you guys. I'm having frickin' the time of my life. You guys have no idea right now.
All right, some Monte Cristo White Series is what we're working with
Yeah.
here.
I love this one.
Get the trim wrap
What do I got here? Authentic Cuban. How'd you get this over the border?
Ran like hell.
You had a drone.
How else? Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah.
Nice.
All right, I'm gonna try it.
What's going on?
I'm having a hell of a time here.
You're used to free flowing.
Yeah, like a good crutch. So when you get low on these, you take an old matchbook and you roll it up, right, and put it around. If I learned anything in California, that's how we used to smoke our stogies.
I never heard that one.
I never heard of that.
Yeah. You guys back to the 2-second gens in the Never End, walk into a bar. That can lean, at least
Oh,
I
man.
can see Eric's real good here.
Is that good?
Yeah. All right, so when's the last time you were in Clearwater?
Never.
Never in Clearwater. Wow.
Yeah, that was wild. Just what I saw today, just the 2 blocks I walked was crazy. Because it's so clean, and like I can tell, I've spent a lot of time on backlots. I can tell a backlot in any movie like this, because you can't fake the grunge and the disgustingness, of like Hollywood Boulevard. You cannot mock that up in a movie too easily. So they, but yeah, it was so super clean. It was surreal. Absolutely surreal. And it's, way to happiness, CCHR, every wise, every nonsense outfit there is in a row. Spooky. It's almost like a nightmare. That's what I was telling my chat. I'm like, I'm so shocked to see that this exists, anywhere.
Did you walk down in front of all those storefronts of the social betterment activities of like the volunteer ministers, the way to happiness?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was walking past that on my stream earlier, and it just freaked me out. It was so surreal. Like, can this be real? This is because it almost looks like it's working, and it's just the worst vibe ever, Versus when I see Hollywood Boulevard, and everything's closed up, and it's just a different flow, And I don't think I've ever even seen someone go into the CCHR.
And so, it's just a Wednesday afternoon. It's not like it's Sunday morning or anything. Were the doors open? Did you look in the windows? Was there anybody at the desk?
Mm-hmm.
There were people at the desk?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't usually find people at the desk.
Well, after I walked by, they were all gone. But yeah, they were all there.
Yeah. All right, let's say hi to some folks in the stream. Dave's Deep Dives. Good to see you, Dave. Matt Elliott, thanks for tuning in. Tina, how you doing? Constance, Ben Bacon Bits.
All right,
Aaron's
Ben.
vid is mirrored. Oh, that's right. It is mirrored because we're shooting on the back cam. And yeah. Single string of lights. Okay, so the funny thing about the single string of lights, there's actually lights around the patio. This is just this string that hangs down and plugs into the wall. It's not like, I'm just like, what would look great out here? Hanging a string of lights from the ceiling. Everyone loves that string of lights.
For some reason, my chat's not here, but that don't matter.
Did you set it to unlisted instead of public?
Yeah, it should have been. Unlisted or public?
Hi, Ushi.
Well, wait, do you have it set to
Hi,
unlisted or public?
Sonia.
I got it on public.
Hi, Matt Elliott.
Let me pull up your stream on mine and see what it looks like.
You're here. Carrie Ann just told me I'm here. It pops up. I'm good. I can't read the chat anyway.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Unless you pull it up on your stream. There we are.
There you are.
Hi,
You can
Ginger.
see the chat now.
There, you got
I
a
got
chat
me
going.
some apple juice here.
Yeah, you got a chat going. Yeah, we could actually jump back and forth on the computer. Oh, look at your angle. You got a good angle. You just don't. Okay. Hey, Alexis. Hey, Ingrid. Let's get it.
Thank you, Ushi.
Whose is that one?
Oh, I thought it was a huge ashtray. Oh, by the way, the ashtray
That
might
must
look
be
bigger on screen than it is in real life. It's much closer to the camera than you.
It's a big ashtray.
It's a huge ashtray.
Delta says, I'm in Clearwater and it's way too hot to be chilling outside. You guys stay hydrated. I mean, at least we're in a shaded, screened-in patio with 1.5 fans.
We got our liquid death here.
Okay, so Martha Meringue, Aaron, how are you going to do on your challenge in the next couple days? You guys aren't going to believe how good I'm going to do because, first of all, nicotine is an appetite suppressant, okay? So I'm surviving on nicotine and caffeine right now. I haven't even had 80 calories so far today. No, I did have 160 because I finished a protein shake. It's 316. I've only had 160 calories. And none of this is alcohol. Liquid death is seltzer water, you guys. Carbonated seltzer water is what I live on. I probably drink, no exaggeration, 1.5 gallons of carbonated water.
I don't do any nicotine.
Okay.
Watermelon.
Thank you, Angie. I appreciate it. And let's see. Let me refresh my stream. Oh, you know what? Okay, so Dusty here. We're trying to get Dusty here to 1,000 subscribers. You guys.
Yeah, we got to do that.
We're trying to get Dusty to 1,000 subscribers. Let me pull up his stream and see what his channel. He's at 848 subscribers.
That's
He's
my goal.
152 subscribers. And what happens when you hit 1,000?
I hit my personal goal. It's a personal thing to me to hit that goal, and then I'll have bragging rights of having tens of hundreds subscribers.
Tens of hundreds.
subscribers.
And okay, well, let's see if we can't get you a little bit closer to that goal. Dusty's
I
channel
got tens
is
of 10 subscribers. Man.
Dusty Soda Dispenser. Here's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to paste a link to your stream into my chat so people can click over to your stream and hit subscribe. It looks like it worked. Yes. Okay, good. Okay,
Thank you.
back to your Clearwater. And of course, we have Eric Rader, but what is the name of your channel? It is Eric Rader, but
Yeah,
your
you can
handle
get the BS Incinerator.
at BS Bravo. What's the S? What does it say?
Sam.
Sam. Bravo Sam Incinerator.
Mhm.
I like that. I like the idea.
Yeah.
We light BS on fire.
That's it. It's hard to think of something else when you're thinking of Scientology. That's why it came up.
So, me and Eric, we've done a full-blown interview on our channel before. Me and Dusty never have. We only had one
This
plan.
doesn't count.
That's right. We got to do a proper.
doesn't count.
We got to do a proper in-studio interview. The studio's right behind
This is
these
impromptu.
doors here.
We didn't know we were doing this an hour ago.
Yeah,
Hour
we're just
and
kind
a
of
half
throwing
ago,
this
we were
together
setting up for an hour.
and seeing seeing what kind of fun we can have here, just pulling it off quick and dirty, as I like to say. What is that notification on my phone? Do you see that there? It popped up. Oh, maybe it's the live
It's
stream.
part of the chat. That's
the
what
live stream,
mine's
okay.
doing. Mine looks just like that, but it pops up.
Hey,
I
Flumbo.
almost want to say start.
And I'm just glad that the audio seems to be working out because on my stream we're basically all sharing my microphone right here, and then Dusty's got his microphone right here. And are you just raw dogging it?
Yeah.
Jeez
That's it.
Louise, Eric.
I know. It's only been a year. I finally figured out how to log in.
And because I'm not doing this from StreamYard and because we're doing it straight from the YouTube app, I don't have the ability to star comments or anything. But I'm going to keep my eye on the live chat. You guys got any funny questions or comments?
I actually
Let them rip.
Hey,
I
Minnie.
actually put a pause on my stream.
Write questions or
I haven't been
so I can
doing
see it, or comments, please, so it'll be easy to see.
Okay, so you've never been to Clearwater. That's interesting. So what made you want to come out here, Eric?
Well, I wanted to see it. I wanted to protest it, and I wanted. Most important though was actually to come right here, right now. That was the reason.
Yeah.
And I think this is a celebration. You can't kill us. We're only getting stronger. We're only getting better.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to grow this thing, and we're going to have a hell of a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah.
And we're going to be an incredible pain in the ass to SCIO from coast to coast, all over the place.
Yeah.
And we're going to grow the hell out of this, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But this is where I saw you have a cigar and the lights behind you. And I've never seen someone do something more relaxed and chill in my life and catch more shit in the history of the universe. I saw comments and people were like, "You're responsible for for deaths everywhere because how dare you have a cigar while it's a storm or something." It was phenomenal, right? And I was like, it got me so worked up. I'm like, I have to go there and have a cigar with him immediately. So that's where this came from. And
Since I'm staring at my screen, all I'm worried about is making everything look prettier. It's been so much
The
fun.
delay
It's been so much
cracks
fun
me up.
how like every week we've got more and more people coming out and joining us on
Yeah.
the protests and
Yeah.
locals and even out of towners. Like every week we've got new out of towners who just happen to be on vacation. Or are visiting family, nearby
Mhm.
and want to come down, and you see more and more locals will be like, "Oh man, if I come out there right now, will you guys still be there?" And it really is so much fun. And well, you'll see it tomorrow night. One of the cool things is that because there's so many Scientology buildings within a couple blocks.
It's addicting too. That's how I started. Oh, he's out there. I'm over at my very early days before I started streaming. I'm at the Downtown Pizza watching everybody's live. He's live. Go running out there. I had my Mark Bunker sign. That was before Erica got it back then.
Why are you so far back? Hold on.
So we could all be.
Squeeze in a little bit.
Well, it's comfortable.
Oh, okay. All right.
We look good. It looks all right.
We gotta get Lori Place back out here with us.
Yes, I very much want
Talking
Lori
you,
to be
Lori.
back
We're
out there.
Talking to you, Lori. Come on now. You can do it. I
Miss
believe in you.
Lori, I would like to get a lot of those people that dropped out to come back in. I really do. There's
You mean a bunch of
Secrepitus.
locals? There's-
No, there's like Secrepitus. There's Poe. There's Lori. There was Magic Mike. There was Spit, Clearwater. I mean, they're all these guys. I would love to get
I
back.
can get Kai back. I'm sure.
I would love to get.
He's
these
just been so
guys
wrapped
back
up in
involved.
everything else going on in his life, but he's not gone. I text with Kai every now and then. I forgot about Magic Mike. What happened to Magic Mike?
The only time, the night I met you, was the last time I seen him here.
That was like a year ago.
It was over a year ago now. Yeah.
Magic Mike, if you're watching, we want you back.
Yeah.
Hey, Magnus. Yeah.
Okay, Alex is asking me, Aaron, did you see the announcement that David Miscavige plans on releasing OT9 next year? I did not see that announcement, Alex. Please email me a link to whatever you've got about that. Growing up in Scientology at gmail.com. But I'll tell you what they did announce at the birthday event that I haven't seen it announced anywhere. He announced that they're going to do the groundbreaking on L. Ron Hubbard Hall this summer 2025. So that's probably why they're trying to push this street thing through. To be honest, the only thing they're doing the street thing. They're probably trying to get the street thing because Scientology's trying to buy a street. You guys, we're going to be going to the Clearwater City Council meeting tonight, 6 p.m. We'll be speaking to agenda items 7 and 8. Scientology's asked the city to sell them a street for $1.3 million. It's a street they don't need. It's a street they haven't even explained to the city why they need it, and they've still managed to get 3 out of 5 council.
One of the
members
things
to
I
vote yes.
noticed when I was watching the city council stream last time, and they were talking about how I'm not sure which council member it was, but he was talking about building this L. Ron Hubbard Hall would draw attention from people going to Clearwater Beach, and it would help draw them in. But you would think the flag all by itself, being as huge as it is, would draw attention, and it's not drawing anybody in. And millions would see said building, but very few could go in it, and nobody is drawn in because they don't want to hang out surrounded by big buildings of zombie-esque people running in and out wearing the same outfit.
Well, one
creeps them out.
thing that council member Ryan Cotton has been responding to emails from people who've been emailing him about this project and why they're against it, and he still seems to think that building L. Ron Hubbard Hall will somehow be a big boon to development and economic activity in downtown Clearwater. And I don't think he understands that Clearwater, Florida is already the international destination for all Scientologists in the world. Like,
Ugh.
any Scientologist who's coming to Clearwater is already coming to Clearwater. And
Right.
it's already not a lot.
Right.
Building an event hall doesn't change anything.
Right.
Doesn't change the thing.
The city just built a gigantic event hall just a matter of a year and a half ago called The Sound. And since I'm out there on a regular on concert nights, I watch those people leave the amphitheater, get in their car, and they leave. They don't hang out. They don't do business in downtown. They don't. There's other places. There's a reason why restaurants like Frenchie's doesn't come into downtown, because they're not going to make a dime there. So why do it?
Yeah.
So you don't get real restaurants into downtown because the patron is there's nobody there to actually want to do business there. Nobody wants to be downtown.
Yeah. The truth is, the businesses that succeed downtown are the ones who succeed because of the non-Scientologists that go there.
Yeah.
There's not a single business, even ones owned by Scientologists, that stay open because Scientologists patronize the place. Right?
Right.
Right. And so this idea that somehow Clearwater is going to benefit because more Scientologists will come here, it's just completely false.
Yeah.
But I'm not convinced that Ryan doesn't already understand these things. Ryan's one of these guys who every Scientologist was told to vote for him because out of the candidates that were running for that seat, he was the one that was friendliest to Scientology.
Okay.
And when I speak tonight, I'm going to point out to him that even that is not an excuse to vote for this project, because all Scientologists were also told to vote for Lena Teixeira, and even she's voting no on this thing. and has been pretty strong in her statements, her public statements for why to vote no. And I don't know. So but I have seen Ryan Cotton's response to some of the emails he's been getting, and it's very clear he's not changing his vote.
Oh,
He's not changing his vote. I wanted so that leaves Michael Menino and it leaves David Albritton. I'm really disappointed in Michael Menino. He's a guy who I was friendly with for a while, and he would always try to explain to me how anti-Scientology he was, and here he is just looking like an absolute fool, essentially rooting for this project that Scientology hasn't even bothered. Like even the mayor of Clearwater is voting no, and even the mayor of Clearwater has said they haven't even explained why they need this in order for their project to move forward. And he went further, he said they don't need this. They don't need this for their project to move forward. It has nothing to do with it. It's not obstructing anything they want to do.
That's
it's
crazy.
just a matter of whether that street is going to be public or whether that street is going to be private and closed down. And yeah.
and they're supposed to put a whole new building in that little area there. That's supposed to attract somebody.
Or at least fence it off and make way like they're doing that.
But see, I
So
can't
is that what
even
that means?
imagine how spooky it is for Never Ends, like, because that is just really crazy. Like, I've never seen, that's out of a movie. That's out of a
That's one of
psycho.
the things I bring up a lot at night in particular. It's not that I feel that my safety's in jeopardy. It's just creepy as all hell.
It's creepy.
It's creepy. And that's as bad as almost dealing with violence. It's just creepy. Because, you know, the people that are in the Sea Org outfits, they're skinny as rails. You can tell they're starving to death. They weigh, you know, max 110 pounds. They're all little tiny thin things. It's like, I'm not worried about them trying to stomp my head, but they just creep me out because they got them damn xenu eyes. And
To
of
see a
course,
town-
I got SP stuff written all over me.
But to see a town like this, it's like out of a horror movie. The fact that this is real is just fascinating to me. And of course, you guys, I mean, I've seen more pictures of Flag than, you know, anybody could. And so I sort of felt like I was there, you know what I mean, before, but of course I wasn't. But this town is amazingly spooky because everything's done real, like everything's super clean, super nice. It's not like the blue building that they let go to hell. This place is looking good, and doesn't make me happy. Doesn't make me happy.
Well, that was one of the things I noticed drastic when I went to Big Blue was how crappy the building looked. The blue paint's faded here and here and here and here, and all the window trims were
Oh,
like
it's horrible.
broken up and splitted, and then this window would have like a sheet covering up the window. This window would have blinds. This window would have shutters. This window would have another sheet. This window would have actual curtains. And it's just, and there's several windows on that building, and it's like each window has a different kind of shading device on it. They're all closed. It was, you know, it was kind of a sorry ass looking sight to have, you know, that building on my street. I still claim ownership to Fountain Avenue, by the way. That's my street, and it's named after my family. You know, I'm going with it.
Well, as someone who lived on that street, I can't imagine how tiny the amount of money is they're bringing in today versus when I was there. That's, but I would imagine that's why they're not making it look good again. I mean, they're waiting until the studs get up or something. But I never thought Blue would look that shitty, not even close. It's like they don't care at all.
Like I said, once we got into downtown, you're going to see where all the money's being funneled to.
Yeah, I mean, the truth is, except for Flag here in Clearwater, they've never tried to keep Sea Org spaces nice. Like the buildings where the public take
Yeah.
the services, they try to make them as nice as possible. But Sea Org berthing, like even the berthing for middle management, the berthing at middle management is even worse than the berthing at PAC. Like you think like Flag is the only Flag and Int are the only place where they have nice berthing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus. I would have thought it would have been a lot better at PAC too. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't understand it, but there's no people. I mean, I still can't get in. It still trips me out. I was there 2 weeks ago, and walked around the place a few times, and it was just so effing weird to be at the top of Berendo, and look down, and there's not one person on either side of the street.
It's funny. L. Ron Hubbard Way, I think, has a similar obvious problem to Clearwater, which is, wait a second. If there really were so many Scientologists, this is where they would be.
Right. What's the excuse for this?
Where the heck are they? You know? And, you know, Clearwater says they have 15,000 Scientologists living in Clearwater. In Clearwater.
Wow.
Not Dunedin, not Plum Harbor, not Safety Harbor, not Tarpon, not Tampa, Clearwater. And the truth is, if you took every Scientologist you could scrape up, including SEER members and staff members, forget Clearwater, in all of Tampa Bay, St. Pete, from St. Pete up to Newport Richey, I don't think you could scrape together 4,000 people.
Wow.
Including
I would
staff,
say
Sea
the
Org, and
flag
public.
would be packed if it had 15,000 people.
It would. You couldn't find parking. You can find parking anywhere in downtown Clearwater any time of day, even during an event. You can find parking easily. And it's like, yeah, where's the 15,000 Scientologists? You know, if you had 15,000 Scientologists and even 10% of them were on course at any given time, you couldn't find parking anywhere in downtown.
I remember in the academy at ASHO, people actually using as an excuse for why they were late,
Yeah.
that they had to park on Normandy.
Mm-hmm.
That's how far, right? You got LRH, Catalina, Edgemont, and then Normandy, I think. That's
Well, and you know what's crazy? Back in the day, that used to be true.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There used to be so many more.
It was no parking anywhere. Like I remember people parking up by Hollywood Boulevard sometimes because it was still less to go from Barnstall Park. That was only 2.5 blocks versus Normandy. Like you parked anywhere you freaking could. And like I said, when you were coming out at break time, chat, let me tell you something. You had to go, excuse me, just to get down those, whatever, 12 steps or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It was packed. Okay. And there's nobody, just nobody.
It's so true.
It's fascinating.
It's so true.
And then when I was just recently out in San Francisco with Foggy and Jordan came out, and that building seemed desolate. There was like 1-2 bodies, but there wasn't much foot traffic outside of that building at all. And the surrounding areas all know, like, they're not interested in going in there whatsoever.
I remember
There were
thinking that was
more
going to be
tourists.
one of the fun little happy benefits for having protesters outside every ideal org streaming, is to eventually, over time, get a real good sense of how many staff members. Because if you're on staff, you've got to show up every day.
Yeah.
So between the day org and the foundation org, anyone that's regularly out protesting and streaming outside of an ideal org, very quickly is going to get a good count for how many staff members even work at this place.
30?
And 30 would be a great number.
I would think San Francisco 30 would be extreme highball number. I bet it was probably 20 to less.
Yeah.
North Hollywood, I counted I think 16 or 17, something like that, coming out of the back parking lot into where they park there. There was 16, 17 people total. And that people don't realize how huge North Hollywood is. That is a massive
which
building.
Location? Oh, you're talking like
North Hollywood Ideal Org. I mean,
is it the Valley Org?
yeah, it's on Burbank Boulevard. Yeah,
Is
the
it?
Valley Org. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
It's
It's
massive.
huge.
Yeah.
12 people in there. Okay, in Aaron's porch right here, we could have comfortably the same number of people. Okay, is in the entirety of the Valley Org.
And that would just be fun to be able to document that in real time publicly. But the truth is, that we have enough inside sources of people that are on staff and in the CO that we actually know the real roster numbers for even some of the biggest. orgs in the
Well, you
US.
did a show on it once, but did you do an update? Something?
I haven't done the update.
Okay.
I want to do another.
I love that show though, because you really worked it out, and you were being so nice. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm rounding up from 13 to the next highest 1,000, and you're like, and we still don't have shit.
That's right. And that was the video where I was like, okay, to be generous, 35,000 Scientologists
Right.
in the world.
Yeah.
And it's definitely closer to 25 or 20 now. I just haven't done the updated video.
The other thing too, I don't know if you guys were spending much time on Hollywood Boulevard back in the day in the 80s, but like I used to a lot of times, I would have to take the bus home. So, but then I would spend my money on Pac-Man, and then have to walk home. So anyway, I'd be walking down Hollywood Boulevard all the time. There was so many Sea Org members on Hollywood Boulevard. It was old. I would say it was 30% of the people on Hollywood Boulevard were Sea Org members.
Mm-hmm.
That's how many. That's the presence Scientology had on Hollywood Boulevard. It was incredible. Any store you walked into, there was at least one Sea. Anywhere you go, walking back and forth, everywhere from Cahuenga to La Brea, it was packed with Sea Org members.
Yeah.
I might see 2 in total from Cahuenga to La Brea now.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking not like a small decrease. It's like a 99% decrease.
Yeah.
I did a lot of work with the FLDS back in the day out in Short Creek, out in Utah and Arizona on the border there. And one of the things that happened with that religion is there was no growth from below, and all the growth at the top was dying off, and it was slowly shrinking to the point where they're almost non-existent. And that's slowly happening with Scientology. Is there's no growth from the bottom and the top's dying off. And the younger generation, they can give a care less about trying to save the world, really. And if they're going to do it, they're not going to do it through Scientology. So they just kind of bypass them. But it is, shrinking. I don't want to say it's dying, but it is definitely shrinking. And shrinking in that kind of a religion is dying. It's dying. If it's shrinking, it's dying. It's not growing. So.
And think of this, not it was different after a month or two. I thought, okay, it's still going to happen. But now I've got like 9 months of being everywhere in the valley, stapling the shit out of everything. Not one person has come up to me and said, bigot or whatever. Or what do you say? I always expect it. And someone will be like, hey, and I'm like, this is going to be it.
Yeah.
And then the person always is like, F Scientology. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, But what makes me the happiest when I'm doing this stuff, especially holding the signs, I keep running into kids, whether there's 4 or 5 of them together. And I say kids because I'm 100 years old, but 4 or 5 of them together, and they're 18 to say 22, that kind of range. And they all fire back, like at the Sherman Oaks Galleria the other day. They read my sign. They're like, yeah, fuck Scientology. And I'm like, dude, that's your best chance right there. Those are your very best chances to good luck. Okay?
Same thing we have here with the horn honking.
I mean, good
That's
luck.
their way of saying,
Yeah.
screw off.
And I think there's no harder job on the planet than recruiting for Scientology right now.
I totally agree. I totally agree.
Who would want that anyway?
One of the reasons I think San Francisco is such a great org for people to stream at is to get a really good estimate. Like, I've already done my really good estimates of the number of Scientologists, right? But I want anyone else to be able to do that,
Right.
that math independently. And if you go to the cities, where not only are they some of the biggest cities in the country, but they also have some of the highest average incomes in the country,
Mm-hmm.
and there's only one Scientology organization in the city, you realize that right there, whatever you see right there with your own eyes, that is the highest benchmark. That is it only gets smaller from there. So, you got Club Brain Fog out there in San Francisco.
She's adorable.
I don't know if anyone's regularly outside the Manhattan, New York org. Cubs champion and Manning 8 were out there, but that's quite a hike for them.
Davey Mismanaged was there a couple times recently.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure I've seen anyone outside the Miami org. So
No.
Miami would be one of the wealthiest and most populous cities.
Yeah.
There's only one org in Miami. There's no other org within hours of Miami. Right? So the closest org to Miami is Orlando. What is that, 2 hours away?
Yeah.
Right. So there's
yeah.
no other org for hours
Yeah.
from Miami. I haven't seen anyone streaming outside Miami, but it would be awesome. And Miami's actually known to be, believe it or not, one of the smallest orgs in the U.S. One of the smallest orgs in the biggest by not by square feet, but by actual stats and staff members. Yeah.
Didn't they just do a thing where they said they raised the most money or something?
I don't even know.
I thought I was on your show. They had a sign. They were all in front, and they were like, "We did the biggest month ever."
Yeah. But for what though? Biggest month for the you know. And it was it Miami or Orlando? I was told there was so few staff members left they had to send in SEERG members just to man the reception desks that could keep the doors open.
Oh my God.
And you're like, come on, Orlando? Orlando is like one of the because of Disney, right?
Yeah.
One of the main destination cities in the entire U.S.
Yeah.
There's only one org in Orlando. There's only one org in Miami. There's only one org in San Francisco. And there's more than one org in New York City, but for all intents and purposes, the one near
Times Square.
Yeah, the one near Times Square is the only one that really matters.
Yeah.
It only gets smaller from there, folks. However many Scientologists you have and staff members you have at those locations, that's the top. It only gets smaller from there.
You did a report once, remember? On they didn't pay. They turn their elevators off. Wasn't that it? Because they can't pay the
I
bill.
told the staff members not to take the elevators because they can't pay the elevators. Yeah. I think I heard
But
from
flag
someone.
is lit
I think
up.
I heard from
all,
someone.
all night long. Flags lit up like a temple.
Well, Flag's the only org that actually makes money. I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's the Cincinnati org. That's actually in like Florenceville, Kentucky or something. The Cincinnati org owes the power company $100,000.
Oh my God.
Now I gotta wonder, why does the power company not shut it off?
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. I'd be all over that.
Too big to fail, I guess. I
I
don't know.
don't know.
That's weird.
San Francisco, speaking of a lot of money, and Miami too, the Miami area, there is a ton of money. And San Francisco is one of the most expensive places to live in the world. There's a ton of money there. They're not interested in giving their money to Scientology.
Yeah.
And then when your rent is like $2,000 and up, just as a regular working Joe, you can't afford it, Scientology anyway.
But I know it's important too because like that college crowd, because Amber was working, Amber Vanessa, I think it was, or Vanessa, I forget which one. Maybe I think it was Vanessa, was working at LA Valley College, recruiting. And LA Valley College and Pierce College, I put up flyers a mile long, and they take those suckers down within 2 days.
What do we got?
That one's yours.
Okay.
Within 2 days, they take that shit down. Yet other stuff I put up stays up for 6 months till the ink, fades.
Yeah.
So they still care about that.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess I always think of Philly as being one of the biggest cities in the U.S., but it's maybe in the top 10, right?
Oh, it's like top 5, 6.
I
Yeah.
swear to God, there's not 10 staff members in the Philly org, and that their new building has been sitting there vacant for over 15 years.
That's where you were, right?
That's where I was. And at the peak, we had about 35. See, we didn't have Dan Foundation org; it was just one org.
Oh,
It still is just one org. And
I didn't
at the
think they were
peak-
allowed to do that.
Well, some orgs have always been that way.
Oh.
There's never been a Philly Day, Philly Foundation.
Oh, okay.
When they go ideal, they are supposed to.
Okay.
But it's like, that'll be a disaster. That'll be a disaster. And I think even at these Day Foundation orgs, there are staff members that do both still. But what was my... Oh, yeah. So Philly.
They brought in Sea Org to answer the phone and sit.
Oh, yeah. At the peak, we had maybe 35 staff members, and that was considered, for a Class 5 org, pretty good. But that was 25 years ago.
Damn.
And it's a ghost town today. It's a ghost town. There was a streamer that was regularly going to the Philly org, and even the people that it was the same people.
Wow.
Who'd been there for 40 years.
Now, a Scientology math, there's supposed to be X amount of people per org, like 15 or like 3,500 people per org.
What do you mean?
But the total number of, using Scientology's math, the total number of Scientologists per the amount of orgs.
Oh no, it's insane. It's an insane level. It's like 30,000 Scientologists.
Per
so
org,
let's just
right?
let's just use the number of Scientologists that they were claiming 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll say 10 million. Get my calculator up here. 10. And there's, we're going to round up and say there's 150 orgs in the world. There's less than that, but we're just going to do that. That would be...
I think they're way less than that.
Well, no, let's take 134 orgs.
Is there?
Yeah.
1,000?
No, 134 orgs.
Orgs. Got
Yeah.
it. Not 150. I think 150,000. Sorry.
That would be, if we round up, that would be about 70,000 public per org. Per org.
So there wouldn't be no parking within miles.
Yeah.
You need the forum parking lot.
Yeah. And if even Scientology's own numbers would indicate that even your average org would have 70,000 public.
That's ridiculous.
And Flag's happy to lie about there being 15,000 Scientologists in Clearwater. Even their lie, even their insane lie, is orders of magnitude less than how many there should be if their membership numbers were real.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys subscribe to everybody.
Thank
Twice.
you, Constance June, for gifting a channel membership. Love it. Marilyn says, hey, 3 of my fave SPs. By the way, Aaron, you were supposed to fix that one lowly strand of Christmas lights. It's giving all of us ladies anxiety.
Amanda, where is Roxy? I know.
I sent Marilyn a message the other day just to brighten her day, just to give her a hello and a good morning, basically.
Yeah, don't forget to sub up to Dusty and Hitzel and Club Brain Fog and
I was supposed
Miss
to,
Kim.
I was supposed to write all these channels down. I put myself on that project a week ago and still haven't done it, to try to remember all the channels in my immediate group family, because I give them all a shout out pretty much every stream. But there's Scooter Mom,
Thank you,
and
Amanda.
there's Natalie Webster, and everybody. Please subscribe to everybody. I'm always trying to grow our community every day. I'm a fond believer that
Thank you, Constance.
subscribers, the more subscribers
you so
out
much.
there, the more exposure Scientology gets by the more messages. So please subscribe.
And drop by, even if you miss, like, replay crew is so important. If you can't see someone live, it's perfectly okay, but go check out, whatever you can. 10 minutes, leave a comment, say, hey, well done. I can't tell you how much that means when you're busting your ass in this heat and everything else. A couple of those comments get you to tomorrow. So, it's really a big deal.
All right, Dusty, we got you 20 subs.
Already.
Yep. We're trying to get Dusty over 1,000.
If you go to my community post, and I've been making tie-dyes lately, that's been my art.
Oh, yeah, buy all those up.
Been it's been my portion of the SP Arts and Crafts section. We have a little division amongst SP TV about arts and crafts, and so if you look at my community post out there in Chatland, you guys could see the new Scientology tie-dye that I introduced just yesterday. It's an authentic tie-dye. The patterns are beautiful, but they only come in one color, and that's clear. So check it out on my community post.
And they're only $39.99.
Yeah. You only have to watch one of my lives, and I will sell you a shirt for $35.
All right, Dusty. Oh, hell no. Says, I know Dusty isn't watching any chat, but I hope he sees that I'm here because he's been worried about me.
Who's that?
Hi, D1. Hi,
Cindy.
Lori.
Oh, hell no.
I
Buttercup.
love Cindy. Big shouts out to Cindy. She's been working hard. She hasn't really fallen off, but she's been more busy to be doing.
Okay,
live
Rib Guy says, so which one of the three of you is going to dress up like John Travolta with a sign for him saying, we're safe, come talk with us?
If I have to wear one of those fake wigs, I'm out. Aaron's the one who likes the wigs.
It's too hot for a wig. You die out here.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's gonna be it only gets hotter for the rest of the year, so it's gonna be a real pain in the butt down there.
Yeah.
I keep looking at the stream over here and my head's cocked. I gotta remember the camera's over there, but this is where the computer is, so I can see what's going on.
I'm gonna get one of those chairs that has the thing that comes over to give you a shade, so I can rock on next to the sign.
Oh, nice.
The Vegas sign.
Nice.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome because they go it's a constant line from like 8 in the morning till midnight every day of the year.
Yeah.
No matter what. It's like one of the #1 Instagram places ever, for pictures. And then there's at least 100 people in line constantly and forever. And at least slow. So what are you going to do? There's no way you can ignore this, and someone's going to ask, hey, what's that about,
Yeah.
So it should just be a constant run where everyone who gets their picture taken is going to know Scientology sucks. And I think that's just a really easy way to do it.
Next weekend we got 3 concert nights in Coldwater, 3 in a row. We got Chicago in town. We have Saturday night, I think, is more of a rave style music. That one I'm expected to be loud, rattle all the windows, and go to curfew. And then I can't remember who is
Hi, Angie.
on Sunday night. But we got
David.
3 concert nights in a row coming up this next weekend.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people watching the stream probably don't know that, even though Scientology has kind of made the downtown area such a toxic place that people don't want to come to, we do have a relatively new world-class outdoor
awesome.
concert facility
Looks
called
awesome.
The Sound, and it attracts world-class acts,
Mhm.
and shows are booked. The show schedule's
I
pretty
think
packed.
sold out. I think it holds around 15,000.
15,000.
Yeah, I think max capacity.
It can fit
for
the Scientologists.
Does it really hold that much?
The Clearwater area.
Let me add.
They just moved a fence on the lawn, so that should have increased the.
But you get to hear the
Yeah,
concert
I'm
perfectly
real
sitting out
interested
there.
On that too, we're cheating. We're googling, guys.
I
The
don't
capacity.
Google
What's the
anything anymore.
capacity?
Rock only. I'm gonna guess something closer to 5. Oh, 9,000 people.
9,000.
4,000 covered, 5,000 lawn.
Okay, got it. And that lawn
That's a lot of
should have
people.
just expanded too, because they
Hi,
just
Sharona.
moved the fence. So that was enough.
Hi, Carrie
to
Ann.
have a couple thousand people actually. Without smashing them all in there. So 9,000. That's the size of Red Rocks. I worked at Red Rock for many years, guys, and that's how big Red Rocks is.
Your stream's buffering.
That's what they
Am I
said.
buffering
Yeah.
or are you buffering?
Do
I'm
you
buffering.
know how to fix that? I know how to fix that. Do you know how to fix that?
I don't know. Should be just. I'm
Carrie
doing it
Ann
off,
said
Let,
it's
let,
buffer.
let me just try.
I'm doing it off a cell.
Let me know when it changes there.
Is that me?
Yeah, I got your stream up there.
I wonder how long that's been going on.
Oh, because your phone locked. You gotta unlock your phone.
You know what it is?
Nope.
I bet somebody called.
You gotta put your phone on Do Not Disturb. It's only been buffering for a couple minutes.
We need at least 3 camera angles. We have 3 of us. But it seems like I don't even know how they keep Pack running. And I get this really weird feeling that Asha, like, because all of my memories, right, are of it being packed. But when I look in there and it's just one person, I saw one person walk out, and wasn't even like they were doing anything or in a hurry to go anywhere. So I don't know what it could have been to, a plumbing issue. Who knows what the hell that was?
Mm-hmm.
But a part of me wonders if there's anyone actually on course in the academy. I'm just curious.
So the reason PAC will always be in business to one degree or another is because other than Flag, it's the only place you can do OT levels in the United States. So
Okay.
it's literally the only place you can do OT levels in the United States.
Thank you, Ben. I see that. Ben Bacon Bits lets me know. I'm
And
back
it's cheap, and it's cheaper than Flag. So it's cheaper to do OT 1 through 5 at AOLA than it is to do it at Flag.
Okay.
Now, of course, to get onto 6 and 7, you have to go to Flag. But
And they make you stay there, right? At the Sandcastle or whatever? Or something? Or can you stay at the Motel 6 and do your OT levels?
so technically, if you're like, no, I have to stay at the Motel 6, you're allowed to.
Okay.
But what gets you in trouble is if you're a public Scientologist and you have rental properties, you are not allowed to rent those properties out to out-of-towners coming because you're competing with Flag. So as a Scientologist, you're not allowed to compete with Flag for accommodations.
Oh my God.
But they can't. The owner of the Motel 6 is allowed to compete with Flag.
Okay.
Now, they might put pressure on you to stay at the base, but the owner of the Motel 6, because they're not a Scientologist, they're like, we can compete with Flag. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But a Scientologist can't. You get in trouble for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, who stays at the Oaks?
Anybody. It's just cheaper than the Fort Harrison.
So they actually just rent the Oaks.
It's a Flag land-based hotel. So Scientologists coming from out of town
That's
would
where
be
they stay.
the Oaks,
Instead
the
of staying in the Fort
Osceola,
Harrison
the
itself.
Fort Harrison, the yacht. I think the Yachtsman and the Mariner are for out-of-work trainees. I think, I never see public going in and out of those hotels.
I personally have the campaign. myself to eventually turn the flag into the Clearwater Convention Center and Hotel and make this county money instead of just pissing.
I love
away.
that.
It would
I
be a
think
gorgeous convention center,
I
wouldn't
think
it?
it
Yeah,
would be
it would.
outstanding. I think it
Yeah.
would make the city a lot of money per year.
It gave me so much more reality in 10 minutes too, that like if I was a business, you know, fucking Raiders hot dogs, I'd be like, I ain't buying it here. There's no fucking way. There's no way.
I gotta grab some more water.
Yeah, I
That's
could- I could use
we need a hot dog cart. We should put a hot dog cart right there in front of the visitor center. And
This
sell
wasn't
hot
water. I'll get the
dogs.
cold one. All right, be right back.
My apple juice is running out.
I'm with you, Lori. It is burning. Hi, Tony. Love you. So nice to see you. Oh, thank you. Great gig. I didn't know you were here. And where's Tampa? You okay? You took in a lungful?
That's good shit. That apple juice is strong.
That's the unfiltered apple juice.
Yeah, it is. Jesus Christ, that fucking well-aged apple juice. I almost died
He took a slug and he almost killed himself.
drinking that.
I guess he
apple
thought it
juice
was
like
apple
it's
juice.
water.
For real,
Pass that over to Eric.
yeah. Thank you.
I'll have some real liquid death here.
That, you know it's a good one when you got to get up to cough right.
Much better.
Yeah, it made me
Not a
sort of
big
sad
drinker,
to see that
guys,
it was
not a
so
big
beautiful.
drinker.
Does that make any sense? It made me a little bit sad, like to see it really look nice. I'm like, man, I was hoping for some graffiti, something. They kept it nice, but I still can't understand why they would let Pac, of all places, like I can see letting San Antonio rot, Phoenix, any place, but why would you let blue look like that?
I guess what about it looks so bad?
Oh my God, the paint is just it's 7 different colors of blue. Like it needs to get painted. The sun's been killing it, and then all the trim.
So there is an answer. Management does not step in to fund things like repainting the building. Management will come in and say, you guys need to paint the building, and then it's up to the service orgs to now fund that. Management doesn't like, we want this done, here's the money. Like even putting on an international event, right?
Mm-hmm.
You would think that if management knows that these events make money, management would have no problems paying for the event and getting the money back.
Yeah.
Every event was a nightmare because it cost $200,000 to do the entire thing, and
Okay.
that's space rentals. Even when they rent one of those big tents, those tents are unbelievably expensive.
Yeah, they are.
And Scientology doesn't own them; they rent them every single time. And so it literally would cost $200,000 just for the pack base
Jesus.
to put on an event. And that's and that means all of the weeks leading up to the event, staff aren't getting paid, the food allocation isn't being covered. That like whole orgs will go on rice and beans, not even as a penalty for production, but because the pack-based crew said, "Hey, your org did not give us their share of the money for the food this week, so your org is on rice and beans." So you could have an org that's their production stats are up, but the CLO puts them on rice and beans because they didn't pay their food allocation. Like for real. Yeah, and so that's why you see the building. There's no one entity that's responsible for funding the repainting of main building, because the Sea Org members who live in main building, they're from LA Org, they're from ASHO, they're from AOLA. Some of them are from middle management. Some of them are from Scientology Media Productions. So there's no one org that's responsible for that, and that's why it looks. They never just repaint the entire building at one time in a way that's uniform and beautiful.
But I know how they don't pay the power bill and stuff, right? And I understand putting that pressure on them to come make it go right, somehow figure it out, eat your shoe until you can figure it out. But I don't understand why, like, whoever, I don't even care, RTC, whatever, some entity doesn't go, it's up to us to make sure this doesn't look like shit PR-wise. Like, I'm amazed that they would allow it to look like, it looks so freaking bad. And I loved the planners there. I loved them. It was the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. I never thought you could have a worse curb appeal, no matter what. And putting up 250 of the cheapest crates ever full of garbage was wonderful.
They never
it looked so
watered
good.
that shit neither, did they?
It looked so good.
It was like all the plants were dying because they put those planters up and immediately shoved plants in them, but then the plants were supposed to just survive on their own. And to water all those would have been a damn long job.
You know what? I want to just random thought occurred.
Yeah.
I know in some of your videos, you're basically not really in favor of people protesting at Blue, or you don't think it's very helpful. I'm not sure. What is the reason for that?
Real simple. I've said the same thing that William has said, Good has said for 9 months now.
Yeah.
The reason I don't think it really does much is twofold. You either believe everything, like when I was at CC and they would tell us about the people protesting. You either believe what you're told about the protesters, that they're paid and they're bullshit, and you can find out for yourself real easy when they're yelling OT8's never coming out and stupid shit like that. So you already know they're bullshit. That it's not a real protest.
Wait, who already knows who's bullshit?
If I hear you say OT8's never coming out, I know you're not familiar with Scientology.
Oh, because it is out.
Right.
I see what you're saying.
See? So if you do anything stupid like that where you don't know and you can't tell the difference between Sea Org and public and all this shit, you sound like an idiot, right? You only make $47 a week. The guy's eating a Yo plate, probably has 300 grand on account, and he has a Tesla and he lives in
Oh, because he's yelling at a public.
he doesn't know what Sea Org, he's like a Sea Org member.
Right.
So if you don't know what you're doing, it's a total waste of fucking time. But even if you do know what you're doing, here's the point. You have to treat people the way you want to be treated. Scientology is the enemy, not Scientologists. So when you say, "Hey, dickhead," you're saying that to me. Get in your hole, slave. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay, we're not a hate group. So if I wanted to go there and start fresh and they didn't know me, I would just be really nice, and maybe I could do like this lady did to me at CC when I was 13, and I got in trouble for this. She was so smooth, so nice and chill. I didn't pick up my spider senses, didn't do shit. And she's like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And I was actually outside to do one of those stupid drills to get the people a half step up on the tone scale, all that shit. And so I'm out there, and she starts talking to me, and I was like, "Oh, cool! She's talking to me, so this is gonna be really easy." And she was really slowly like getting to me just a little bit. That she's like, "Do you really know what's behind that and stuff?" And of course, I've never had anyone ask me that. Like, I grew up in this. What do I know? She's like, "Do you really know what's behind all that and how it really works?" And I'm like, "Yeah." But she was so chill and didn't make me wrong that I was listening to her, and she actually got to me just a little bit with a couple things, and I was like, but the reason she was able to talk to me because she wasn't screaming at me.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
But there's two kind of people. There's people who believe Scientology. So if you say something to me on my way to AO, I don't give a shit.
Right.
Okay, I can ignore that. But people like me, I believed it was bullshit at the very end of my time, and so someone wouldn't even really need to get to me because I knew this was bullshit. But I was trapped, so it didn't matter what you said. I couldn't get out without losing my family,
Right.
and I had nowhere to go.
Right.
So, it's and plus I don't even think it's so much work and it's so difficult for the payoff. If I spent that same amount of energy making sure new people see it, I'll have 1,000 people see my shit in a day.
Yeah.
Why would I do something that I maybe have a tiny chance, maybe 6 months from now? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
There's no money coming in. We can't stop anyone at LA Day. You can't get on the property. You can't get near them. So all you can do is shout like an idiot. That does nothing.
Which property are you talking about now?
LA Day.
Yeah, I know you can't get close.
No.
Yeah.
And so, and there's no one at ASHO and AO. They definitely don't care what we're saying. So and the chalk, all the materials, it's all taken out. No one sees it. No one reads it.
I like the chalk though.
I like chalk too. I do it.
No. I mean, I don't do the chalk because I don't like.
I don't
like writing with chalk. It gives me goosebumps. for me, writing with chalk is like nails on a chalkboard, actually. But I think it's such a fun, creative way for people who want to do that. I love it because it's not vandalism.
Yeah.
And it forces someone to have to come out and clean that shit up.
Yeah.
And
but we're giving that guy a fun job.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
You know he's
I
reading
think
that shit when he's
protesters.
spraying it.
I want to refrain from using a phrase such as the right way.
Right. It's whatever you want to do. I don't care.
But I do.
As long as you're nice.
I don't mind saying screaming or insulting is actually the wrong way.
Yeah.
Period.
Seriously.
Screaming at Scientologists and insulting them is, in my opinion, not protesting.
It's counterproductive.
I realize by definition, and it is protesting, but it's not anything I want to.
Well, it depends who it is, because we just love insulting Joey Big Balls.
But that's different. He's not even a
Meatballs.
Scientologist. He's
Yeah,
hired private security.
but
I
it's
love
fun,
messing with
though.
Joey Meatballs.
Especially when Jerry's yelling at him. He's the funniest shit in town.
So,
Anyway.
Streets. My understanding of why Streets LA doesn't like going to Blue is because he's just been very open about it. He's like, I'm not here to get people out of Scientology. I'm here to keeping them.
And I'm
from
the same
recruiting-
way.
I'm here to keep them from recruiting new people.
I think that's a lot easier fishing, and I think I'm going to be. I get a lot more done doing that. I'm not okay trying to put all this energy I do into maybe one day. It's just I want results, and I can get it every day easily.
Yeah.
So
Now, what's interesting about because we're in a similar funny spot, right? You can't join Scientology here at Flag, but yet this is where we live, so that's where we protest, and that's why I'm really there to have fun, attract eyeballs.
Flag is different to me.
Almost troll the Sea Org authorities by having them see how much support we get from the general public to the message honk if Scientology is a cult.
Yeah.
It's performance art.
But that's why I do that. That's why I do that on Laurel Canyon, where I can get 1,000 people to see it in an hour.
Right.
And I mean, they're honking. I had like 6 people honking it's insanity. People are they're so happy to show their displeasure.
We got Tori in the chat. I'm glad Tori's in the chat because I was actually about to mention her as an example.
I was just
of someone
about
who
ready
does
say
go out to
something
LRH
different.
Way.
And I've said I like
Yeah.
that she does that. And I think there's a reason for Blue.
Yeah.
In other words, if you and I are going to talk, what better backdrop? Okay. And I think her being there and knowing people could come get her before she was chased out of there, that she was always there every night with the sign, and it was perfect. You just knew she's there, and you could come up and talk to her, and she's approachable, and she's very nice, no, that was perfect. I'm talking about, I'm not getting my message to people where it matters. People in that area also don't like Scientology, so I'm not really. To me, it's just I'm not getting anywhere near the eyeballs that matter. And that's that. I'm not trying to get people out either, because I truly believe what I keep telling my chat, which is I don't think this works anymore.
Yeah.
You cannot ask somebody, because you and I know how it works, but a lot of people don't. You only get you cannot do more than 2 mini courses. It will never allow you to do it.
What do you mean?
Mini courses. Okay, when you first do
the intro courses.
Right. When you first, do your personality test, and you're like, and they find out, okay, you're not getting along with your dad. Well, here's the how to get along with your dad course for $60. You're like, oh, okay. Yeah. Now you get done with that, yay, and you're love bombed and everything, and they let you do another one, how to make money or whatever, right? $50. But after that, if you're doing what they want you to do, right? And because you know how they're really nice to you at first, like you smoke pot, they're like, just stop doing that during the week. You know what I mean? But then by the time you get done those 2 mini courses, it changes. I've seen it a million times. You roll in at 8 o'clock. You're supposed to be there at 7. You're supposed to be there till 10:30. You got to leave, pick up your girlfriend at 9:45. They're like, oh, it's okay. But once you get on the HAS course, which is where they're going to take you after that second mini course to the reg to get on the bridge because you're so special. now that comm course might be $300. I don't know what it is now. And that's a legitimate little course, right? But when you get done with that, it's the HQS course. No one has the money for that shit. Nobody.
Part of the whole Ideal Org strategy, at least when Miscavige first described it, was he wanted to bring Div 6 back to, he wanted to restore Div 6 back to the importance that it used to be back in like the 80s, where people would come into a Scientology organization or a mission, and they would spend a lot of time cooking and simmering in Div 6, getting comfortable. And he said, one of the reasons he said we needed these big giant buildings is because he wanted to dedicate 1/3 of the square footage and the staff to Div 6.
Okay.
And he actually issued an order that the Div 2, the mainline Div 2 registrars were to leave the Div 6 people alone. And that's why they came out with a whole new series of intro courses. And they're like, no, you have to let people stay in Div 6 for as long as possible.
So that changed.
Well, in theory it changed, but because of the stat addiction and the lack of actual new people joining, the Division 2 where they're selling you the major Scientology services, they're like, you can't tell me to make money and tell me to leave those Div 6 people alone. Because those Div 6 people are where I'm going to make my money.
Right.
You can't tell me not to go to those guys, but also tell me I need to make $30,000 this week. It'd be one thing if there was 100 people, but a Div 6 is the division where brand new people come in. The course rooms where you do your intro courses is different than the course rooms where you do your major courses. And there's always this push and pull between Div 6 wanting new people to stay there for as long as possible, and the Div 2 people being like, no, we need fresh blood, we need fresh meat, we need fresh meat in Div 2 and Div 4. And so it all sounded great in theory, right? It all sounded great in theory. But these theories only work if there's actually people getting into Scientology.
Yeah.
All of the problems in Scientology come from the fact that no one's joining.
I'm laughing because I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Well, Div 6 just means new public. Div 6,
Yeah.
No, Div 6 just means brand new. And Div 2 and Div 4 is where the real Scientology begins.
Starts happening.
Yeah.
Div 2 is where
And what cracks me up is the two Scientologists eventually started talking Martian. Now we know it's real.
damn logo like
That's a
new
trip.
one for me today. Div 6.
So Div 6 is the so Div 6 has its own little mini organization in it. They've got their own registrars, and they've got their own course supervisors, and they've got their own auditors. And that's only for brand new people. Okay? So the Div 6 registrar is the one that's selling you only introductory courses and introductory auditing. And your Div 2 registrar is the one that's selling you your major Scientology courses and your major Scientology auditing.
I'm so hard to sell shit to. It's unreal. All right, let me tell you a story. I'm going to get off topic now.
Hey, Ken, good to see you.
A friend of mine, she was a store manager for Home Depot and
Becky.
we signed up for this timeshare thing. And it was by accident, but we both showed up to this timeshare thing not knowing each other were going to it. And her and I shredded these people the whole time. It's like you weren't selling me a damn thing. But I am all about that gift you're going to give me.
Oh, God. I told
tried
that.
so hard, and I was like... And I was thinking, if that was to ever happen with me at a recruiting office, I was like, you are not selling me shit. But go ahead, run your spiel. Make sure I get my gift at the end.
When my family passed, I had in storage this enormous amount. Remember when Miscavige added a couple semicolons, so you had to buy the whole shit again.
I got to show you the garage where I got a whole collection of all the new material.
Oh, yeah?
The local OT7 donated it all to me because he's leaving Scientology. I got all the congresses, all the ACCs, all the books, all the auditor training packs. I got everything in there.
Well,
I don't know
guess
what
what
I'm going to do with it.
Well, guess what? This is what I did. I took
More
a picture. I put this shit in the garage, and I this huge picture, everything you could think of, and I put and I actually felt bad about it because I'm like, is it like selling drugs or something? I don't know. I felt bad, but I already had it out for $500, right? OBO, and this is like $10,000 worth of shit, easy. Most of it's is still in a wrap. Anyway, I got not one call. I put it down to 200. Nothing. The very next week, 100. Nothing. Then I put it in for free. Nothing. And then I threw it all in the trash where it belonged. I felt great about it.
It's funny because
Says, yeah,
even
value
though the street value of all that stuff is probably $10, you know that a Scientologist pay like 10, 15 G's for all these materials.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to throw them away.
I know.
In my mind, I'm always like, one day I'll do a video about maybe one of these lectures.
Right.
I'm like, that's never going to happen. Never going to happen. You know?
I said the same shit. I'm like, well, maybe I could use this. For what?
I know.
For what?
I know.
But you know what? See, back in my day, this was the dumbest thing I ever did. I took a girlfriend. She was like, I just want to see what you're doing, what it's about, whatever, because I was doing the Purif. And so I brought her in like an idiot. But it was to LA Day. I thought it'd be okay. And she did some little mini course or whatever. And then without me even knowing, they got her to the reg over at Ash Show. Like I said, they were not playing games. And when I show up, she's almost crying. She's like, what are they doing? They were like, we wanted her to get new credit cards. And they were like, they had it all mapped out. Well, you got 12,000 on this, you got that. I'm like, what are you doing? Right? And I had such a beef. It's only because of me and my family and as much as we put in there that I didn't get in trouble. Because I was like, are you insane? And I actually got the Reg in a little bit of heat. Because I go, this is maddening. You don't go from that to this. You just blew it. You totally blew it. And they actually agreed with me. But they were also like, you're a little bit out of control. So it was a little funny business. But I couldn't help it, and they couldn't help it. She was like, I'm out. I'm gone. You guys freaked me out. And I'm like, you did that, not me. I can't bring her back. You fucked it all up. You know?
Yeah.
Now, I question this a lot because when I see the public, Scientology public, and even meeting a lot of the second gens now that I've met, everybody seems to be pretty well educated. Everybody seems to be pretty damn smart. Aaron, I consider him smart. He's a nerd. But I consider anyway, I consider you guys really smart. And even in my days with the Mormons, a lot of them were very smart people. And then I'm very dyslexic, so I went through special ed training my whole life, and it's like how that somebody that is not as well educated, I'm not going to go on the limb and say I'm a dumb shit, but a lot of cases I am. But how did these educated people get sucked into such bullshit? How does that happen?
It's slow. It's a slow pace.
How well are they at the brainwashing? How well are they at the indoctrination to con these educated people?
It takes 2 years. It doesn't happen overnight.
And a lot of like Sea Org, they're dropped out of school at a way young level. How did these people become so intelligent?
I don't know. I mean, I asked Rick Ross about that when I was interviewing him, the cult expert guy. And he said he's deprogrammed. He's like, I've had to deprogram MDs, PhDs, academics. I think the way I've heard it described, and it really only applies to people who join cults, not really. What's happening?
What?
They are masters at their game.
I don't know. I'm hesitant to try to explain it the way that I want to explain it because I think I've seen some former cult members almost try to pat themselves on the back by pointing to some research that is like, only on average, people who join cults have a higher than average IQ, and I'm like, I don't know. That's the flex that you really want it to be. Like, I'm so smart. I joined a cult. It's like that sounds ridiculous.
I can repeat nonsense.
So I don't know, but all I can say is that because Scientology is really at the bottom levels, not really much more than a self-help program. There's a lot of people out there that want to improve themselves. You know what I mean? And the truth is, who was I talking about this?
I want to improve myself, but I'm bright enough to know that ain't frickin' answer. Shell out money. Improving yourself shouldn't cost a fucking fortune.
I was talking to someone yesterday about Scientology safe pointing, right? In that the truth is, especially since Scientology is, it's kind of a boogeyman. Like everyone's like, geez, that's a cult. Stay away from that, right? Let's say you're some VIP, you're some official, you're some politician, you're some whatever, and Scientology wants to safe point you. When they bring you in, this, when you go into a Scientology organization, it is for the most part relatively young. There's exceptions to this rule, right?
Right.
Relatively young, enthusiastic, nice, kind, positive, attractive people.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on what org you're going into, it's very nice. If it's an ideal org, it's beautiful, it's big, sure, it's empty. But the people who work in PR, who work in the Office of Special Affairs, they really are professional schmoozers.
Mm-hmm.
And especially you want to bring someone to the
But that's so easy to read through.
Well, it depends. It depends.
Maybe I'm just
but you're not
It
in that
depends.
spot that they are in when they're there. Like that's why, to me, you could start a cult and very easily by just doing what they do. I mean, it's
All I
they
can think
people
of.
in by the love bombing, but they don't bring them in by the words of L. Ron Hubbard, which is what they're actually trying to sell. And it's like you're not
I mean, look,
you're not worshiping L. Ron, you're buying L. Ron.
I hate to use this as an example, but I feel like it kind of works. Just look at Grant Cardone. There's so many people who can see what Grant Cardone does and how he does it and go, Jesus Christ, this guy's a snake oil salesman.
Yeah.
How does anybody fall for this shit?
perfect example.
A lot of people fall for that shit.
Perfect example.
A lot of people fall for that shit. You got this guy running around saying the worst financial advice you could ever give someone is to buy a house. And you're like, you're such a fucking idiot. For most people, it's literally the best financial decision you could make is to buy a house.
Right.
And he's giving you all sorts of reasons why it's literally the worst thing you could do with your money. And there's a lot of people who fall for that shit. All of his advice basically comes down to the best thing that you could do is X, Y, and Z. But because X, Y, and Z is impossible, give me your money and I'll do it for you. You know, but people fall for it. I mean, just look at the crazy things people fall for. At the introductory levels, if it weren't for the fact that Scientology already has such a horrible reputation internationally, if it weren't for that, it's actually very easy to get people into Scientology at the lower levels, which is why in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, it grew so fast because it's very easy. The internet and the broad public awareness of that Scientology is a destructive cult is what has made it hard to get people into Scientology. If there wasn't a broad awareness about it, I think they'd still be expanding. At the lower levels, you got these enthusiastic, dedicated people, and if you go into an org, you're like, I don't see what the big deal is. Everyone here seems pretty nice. You know, especially if they let you cook in Div 6 for months and months and months.
So that's what I thought they should have done a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah. You know?
There's more of that alien talk, you guys.
But what do you think about this? Because this is what I thought. If Scientology would have done this, okay, they'd be in a lot better spot right now. So I'm glad they don't. But they should have kept it super cheap.
Yeah.
All the way until right before you're gonna go clear.
Yeah.
So this way they can keep you for 2 years. Make sure all your friends are now Sios. You're completely, you know, they got you where they need you to be.
Yeah.
Now you can sell your house and your car and your kid and whatever you got to do to get to whatever. And I think that would be a lot more successful. What they're doing is they're giving you very little, and the wins are coming from you stopping doing all the crap you were doing. It has nothing to do with Scientology. So I'm a mess, right? I'm flying, I'm just careening into the walls. And then all of a sudden I do this personality test, and this is the first time I've even tried to better myself in any fashion in a long time. And then guess what they tell me? They're acknowledging me, they're hearing me, no one listens to me, they're hearing me, they're acknowledging me, and they're saying, hey, you're a good person and we can get you where you, and all the stuff you want to hear. And you stop drinking, you stop taking the dog upside down in the apartment, you know, you stop gutting, and so guess what? Your world, it gets better just from you stopping doing all that crazy shit. But then you attribute it to Scientology.
Yeah.
Okay. But nowadays, like I said, I don't think people have the money. In the 80s, it was not a problem. But now you're not going to pay $2,000 for some bullshit course when you're really not closed. But the thing that blows my mind about Scientology more than anything else, that I never, and this is why I think people believe maybe it's true, because how can you possibly believe everyone's lying? Every single Friday, I'm watching people, and I used to just be stunned by it, and I got really good at it, right, when I was doing it myself, and given these wins and bullshit, because they say, this is what happens, okay? That's it. Dusty just completed the how to, whatever the hell course, and give him a hand, okay?
Yeah.
And then he has to give his wins. Now, I twinned all my courses, so I'm watching my twin do that, then I'm doing it, and we're both full of shit. And I'm just like, this is fascinating. And the more full of shit you are, the more they like you. It's such a bizarre thing, you know? It's like, oh yeah, this has been so great. And I mean, even colors are brighter now, you know? Everything is just, I'm just in the present, and it's the same shit. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen on YouTube, but you guys can go to, put in OT8 wins, and they have 3 or 4 people up there, OT8 completions. And none of them can say anything but this. They'll go, oh yeah, ever since I finished OT8, I'm like, boops, bang, boop, zip, boom, because there's no real words to say, because it's all bullshit. You can't do anything. Okay? You know, and then how you could get through the OT levels given those wins, I don't know. It's fascinating. That's the most fascinating thing, is lying about your fucking wins. It's fascinating.
Yes, it is true. The fact that so many, like when I was at Flag, I mean, I was like 13, 14, 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that every single week at graduation, dozens of financially and professionally successful people would get up on stage, having finished an OT level, and just give some mind-blowing, I have more gain from every single session of OT5 than the entire bottom half of the bridge combined. And there's a part of me that was just like, they can't all be lying.
Right. Right.
But they are.
They are. That's it.
And that's when I had no idea what was on the OT levels. I had no idea it was about body thetans. And if I had known that, I'd be like, oh my God, how in the world are these guys telepathically talking to spirits all week? And they get up here and they're like, it's the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. You're like, oh my goodness gracious. But yeah, I know.
And these people, they'll say, like, my relation, like, I get along better with my cat. I mean, there's nowhere you won't go. You know what I mean? It's like, my animals are healthier. Everything glows. And it's just, you're like, what the fuck is he talking about? None of this is happening. And plus, that was the other thing that really fucked up. I think they oversold Clear so hard because there was no Scientology, right? It was just Dynetics. So they oversold the shit out of Clear. And that really messed me up because I knew a million Clears, right?
Yeah.
And half of them, I had a bunch of them that worked for me that were actually some of the worst, just klutzes and just, you couldn't trust, they come in, they're just horrible employees I had.
Yeah.
And they're Clear, and they can't remember shit I told them. They can't nothing. And I'm just like, what the fuck? You know, and they got the Clear bracelet on, and it just kept meaning less to me. I'm just like,
yeah.
You're Clear?
Well, guys, I'll tell you what. The council meeting starts in 90 minutes.
Okay,
and
cool.
I got a bunch of stuff I got to do before then.
Let's do it.
So, how about we just wrap this up? This
Cool.
has been a nice little fun experiment of streaming out here.
Keep subscribing.
Multiple people.
Keep subscribing.
Hi, 49ers.
Yeah,
Thank you so
Before
much.
I end it, let me
We
give
wanna
another
grow
plug.
the
We're trying to help
community
Dusty.
Hi, Pinchy.
How many
Thank
subs
you
do
so
have,
much,
Eric?
Pinchy.
Oh, Eric's got 12,000 subs. So Eric Rader's channel. One more time. I'm gonna post the links.
BS Incinerator.
I'm gonna post the links in the chat, and I'll pin a comment afterwards when we're done. We need. Let me refresh Dusty's channel here.
Good.
Hi,
Still
Sue.
live, and good to see that.
This was our celebration cigar smoking.
I'm
Stream.
stoned off this thing.
I know, it makes you lightheaded. Yeah. Okay, so Dusty needs 112 more subs to hit 1,000.
Come
I'm gonna put
on.
a link to his channel in the chat here. I'll pin a comment afterwards. And Eric Rader, he could always use more.
Yes.
And I'll post his link in the chat again.
And I like to do big thank yous to everybody, especially Aaron.
Magnus.
Thank you, Aaron, for having me out
course.
here. And Eric, thank you so much for coming out here.
Magnus from Clearwater.
And I like to thank all the people out there, like a girl who's always supported me. That's what she said. Big friend of mine. He's always supported
Friday.
me.
So let me plug before I forget. So again, guys, 90 minutes. If you're anywhere near downtown Clearwater, you want to join us at the city council meeting. 90 minutes, public library, downtown Clearwater, Osceola. You can't miss it. And then tomorrow we will all be downtown in front of the Superpower building doing our weekly protest. Guys, if you're on Clearwater Beach, if you're in East Lake, if you're
Tampa,
in
girl.
Arizona, if
You
you're
should
in
be there.
Dunedin, if you're in St. Pete, if
We
you're in
got
Tampa,
a
come on
Indian
out.
Rocks
Come on
Hi,
out and hang
Melissa.
out with us.
St. Pete.
We'll have pizza, we'll have drinks. Come on, or just drive around the block and honk for us over and over and over again.
Everybody wants to come meet Jamie.
Thank you,
Jamie
49ers.
is a star out there in our community. Please come out here and talk to Jamie
That's right.
for us.
That's right. Keep Jamie busy. Answer all his questions. So I don't snap
Thank you,
at him
Thingy.
in my caloric deficit.
I love Jamie, but
Yes.
Jamie.
Jamie, I think Jamie's in your chat right now,
Is
Dusty.
he?
Yeah, Jamie, are you there?
Jamie, good people. Big shout out to SP Danny. I'm expecting him at some point today. And then Farrell Cheryl on the loose. So it's just kidding.
Hey, Adam. So good to see you.
Oh, I just realized I can't end my stream unless I turn it off at my phone. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap this one up.
All right. Take care, everybody. We'll see you soon.
From
the
Cold
council.
Water,
See you in
I'm
90 minutes.
Dusty Soda Dispenser.
90 minutes.
Stay strong. SPTV proud. SPTV strong. Please subscribe.
Sub up to Hitzel and sub up to Miss Kim. Please do your very best to do those things. And on the watch hours, too. When you go to bed, hit those, get those watch hours up. Those are real hard to get. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Hi, Jesper. We really appreciate you. Hi, Judy Lee. And Never In Aaron. Nice to see you. And we'll see you in 90 minutes. Take care. Incineration Nation. We are. Oh, someone hit the like button to get 100. There we go. Okay. We're good. Catch you guys in a bit.